Welcome to the HowDoWeHuman Theater. Please silence all cell phones unless they're playing this podcast, in which case turn it up.
Whoop whoop.
Welcome to HowDoWeHuman. This is the podcast where we talk about all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
I'm that other host, Evan Cox.
And today we're going to be talking about the theater. Maybe you spell it E-R at the end. Maybe you spell it R-E at the end.
You might.
You might. And we'll most certainly get into that for the next hour. But first...
Yeah.
Evan, I got to know how you doing.
I'm going to say I'm doing fine. The story's going to make it sound like I'm not doing fine. I feel like that's every week, though.
Yeah, that's a common
I'm doing
theme.
Good. Here's why I'm sad. No, I just thought this was funny, but it also sounds like a good representation of how depression works. But, I don't remember. I assume I would have mentioned at some point that last year around springtime, this time of year, I had started a little herb garden. I got some seeds and a little planter box thing. All the other stuff you need, dirt, soil, water, and watered these little babies and watched them start to grow. And it was great. I really enjoyed the process and I do a lot of cooking. So I was just like, I'm going to have on hand parsley, cilantro, oregano, and thyme. That's what I was growing. But once it hit summertime, unreasonably hot up here. It was literally the hottest summer this mountain has ever had. It was over 100 degrees every day, and it sucked, and it scorched my baby little plants, and they died. As much as I tried to keep them going, putting them under shelter certain times of the day, letting them get that sun, getting the right amount of water, I fucking killed them. And I'll take that blame, even though it was hot. I'm an amateur. I'm an amateur planter.
I mean, sure, there is that element. I think you should send photos of the dead plants to your local congressman and be like, why won't you guys do something about how hot it is?
My plants are dying. Did you see under the dome? Let's put a dome over this place.
Yeah.
The Simpsons movie.
Yeah.
Worked great.
Put a big glass dome over us. And let the sun shine through and scorch us all.
Yeah, that might as well. Here's what I'm here to say. I found that very depressing. I was sad to lose my little plant babies.
Sorry
to
for
say
your loss.
The least. Thank you. And I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to do this again next year. It hurts so bad. But I left that little planter out there. So essentially, whatever. It's been out there. You get lazy. And I've got a planter full of dead plants. And I'm just like, I'll take care of it at some point. Throw it out. And now it's springtime again. And the parsley and the cilantro are just coming up. There were still some ungerminated seeds down there. I don't know if that's the right term, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that sounds right enough.
I've just let them go. I haven't done anything. I haven't touched these plants. And they are so big and healthy and strong. And I'm like, are my plant babies healthier without me? I don't know. But that's the depressed way of thinking about it, is I didn't do shit this year. And granted, the rosemary, the thyme, those are dead as hell. They're not coming back. These two, they're fucking massive now.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means I should do, because now the second half of the planter's open. Like, do I put something else in there? Or is me putting something else in there going to kill what I already have?
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. That's rough. But the only way to learn is by doing it.
Fucking failure. The worst. Speaking of failure,
Yeah.
Chris,
Uh-huh.
how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. You know, there's an ongoing battle in my life.
Does he like
And
Jean-Luc or does he like Picard?
it's
Jean-Luc.
between myself and yeah, I caught what you said.
Yeah, I did it wrong.
That is the battle in my life is do I like Jean-Luc or do I like Picard?
Do I like his first name or his last name?
And that's the battle in my life. It's like which one is better?
Do I like Kirk or do I like Picard?
Whatever.
Fuck me.
Whatever. It's whether or not to go to the grocery store, which I like, or to do a grocery store pickup, which is what my wife likes to do.
Right.
And, you know, the mobile pickup order, hey, sometimes for convenience sake, that's just the way to go. You had a long day, you've been driving from the other side of town, and you're like, I do need to get groceries, so let me just pull up and get the stuff I need. But I don't fully trust the pickup process. The last several times we've gone, hey, your order's running behind. It's like, well, the whole convenience of this, like that's why I scheduled it, is so that I could have this convenience factor.
It feels so, and I've had this happen too. It feels so different when it's like, well, now I'm here and I see the person shopping for my stuff. Like, I can finish this up.
Yeah. And I'm also, as you and I have discussed, there's also like the fear of, hey, maybe you're going to give me a product that isn't the one I would have chosen off the shelf, if you know what I mean. But we pick up our order, and one of the things that I've been getting as I work morning shifts is the Bolthouse Farms little pre-bottled smoothies.
Those are good.
It's a good product. And I grab one of the ones, bring it to work on Monday. We picked this up on Sunday. Look, I don't want to give away too much about when we're recording this, but it is going to be a little bit important for the story.
Okay.
We pick these groceries up on May 18th. I bring this smoothie to work May 19th, the very next day.
Great.
I'm at work. It's my lunch break. It's time to crack open my golden goodness Bolthouse Farms smoothie. Yeah. And I do crack it open. And I'm like, is that a part of the design on the bottle? Now, I didn't take a great photo of this, Evan. I will admit. However, maybe you can see right in here.
Oh, no.
Some little patches.
Oh.
There's little clumps of mold around the rim of my smoothie.
Oh.
And I want to be clear, this is not the fault of Bolthouse Farms. Yeah. Because as I mentioned, we purchased these on May 18th.
Yes.
The expiration date on this smoothie they gave is April 27th. Now, I don't know how good everybody is with math or the calendar. That's almost 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's about a month.
And I know, we're living in a time, not to sound like a radical left lunatic, but we're living in a time where maybe our health services don't believe in things like expiration dates. Maybe they think mold is good for you. I don't know. but I don't think it's good for me. And so that was a crushing blow
That's awful.
to not be able to drink that smoothie. I mean, it was sealed, so it wasn't touching the mold, but I wasn't going to risk anything. Especially when the drink itself says it expired 3 weeks ago. Yeah, so a rough start to my morning. The other ones that we did pick up in that same order all appear to be fine, and their expiration dates are in the future instead of in the past. So seems like just a one-off. And we requested a refund, and I believe we got it, but it's on my wife's account, so I couldn't tell you.
I mean, it might have just been whatever. They're grabbing because these were like loose. You bought just a certain
Yeah,
number
you buy
of
them
not
individual.
like a case.
Yeah, it's not in a case.
But it also does make you think of when sometimes you do that and you get like a fucked up can, and it's like, well, it's going to taste the same. It's fine. But the person grabbed it because it's a fucked up can and no one else is going to buy it.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't like it
Suing
either.
their asses. I was gonna ask before we get into this. The Stater Brothers by me has recently implemented a new grocery pickup system where they have lockers at the front, like Amazon lockers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So they just shove all your food in a locker and then you go pick it up?
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try or not. But yeah, I'm curious.
I'm still team do the shopping. I get that there sometimes it's convenient. And there are people who are not in the same situation as us where like, oh, I don't want to bring my newborn in, but I have to get groceries, so I have to do the pickup order, or my mobility makes it harder for me to go through the store. I'm talking about you and me.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be in that store going up and down those aisles.
Yeah.
Picking what's best off the shelf.
Yeah.
Part of me wonders, stuff. Like, I'm sure it would not be, like, a great career. But part of me is like, should I just be somebody that grabs people's pickup orders? I don't want to load it into the cars like they do at Ralph's. I don't want to. Maybe I could just put it in a locker like at Stater Brothers, but
there you go.
Just nobody talk to me and let me grab items.
I mean, yeah, I know. We never.
While I listen to the 80s, 90s, and today playing on the grocery store speakers.
Grocery store radio. We never generally didn't have to do that. There were a couple of special cases, but like when I worked at Walgreens, like to this day, still I feel the same way. Like I could be absolutely happy working at Walgreens. I mean, it's the clerks thing. Like this job would rule if it weren't for the customers.
Oh yeah,
like, I could just. Yeah, anytime I would be able to do a job resetting something, looking through stuff to get rid of stuff for expiration or expired products, or going in the back and resorting things. I love that. It's like, I'm good at it.
Yeah.
The second you put a customer in front of me, I'm mad.
I know.
They have nothing good to say.
Yeah, there's that meme going around of like somebody complaining at a fast food restaurant of like, I ordered 2 fries or 2 large fries, and then dumps out the bag. And it's like, but instead there's 100 little ones. And it's like, this is exactly what customers are like. And it drives me nuts.
I should have given them 2 very large, just 2 potatoes. Those are large fries.
That's what they want. They want 2 large fries. Mm-hmm. The customer is always right, according to the corporate person who doesn't have to interact with them.
Yeah.
And I know that's not exactly what the phrase is supposed to mean, but we live in a time where that is how most people have interpreted it. In the same way that I could care less and I couldn't care less apparently mean the same thing.
Yeah.
Or that literally can mean both literally and not literally.
Yeah.
The
Pull
language
yourself up
has
by the
changed.
bootstraps.
Yeah.
Just ignore what these things actually mean.
Yeah.
Speaking of ignoring what these things actually mean.
Yeah. Have you been to the theater?
This is the best segue I could find. I have. I've been. Here's the thing I ran into when writing my notes for this episode. We looked. We came up with a few ideas and landed on this one. And I was like, yeah, we haven't done an episode on. We've done movie theaters, but not
Right.
the teatro. El teatro.
Yeah.
The theater itself. The boards. Shakespeare, the rest. But then I was writing my notes. I'm like, why do I feel like I've told all of these stories? Like, it feels like there was an episode where we talked about this exactly. And I
Yeah.
looked it up. I can't find anything. I have no idea what is going on in my brain. But I'm worried I'm repeating stuff. But I feel like it hasn't been said for years, so who gives a shit? But yeah, I enjoy the theater. I don't go very often, and I don't know. I don't know why that is necessarily. I think I will always, for whatever reason, even though I respect it, and when I've seen good shit at the theater, it fucking rules. I'm just, in terms of art medium, far more likely to watch a movie or go to a concert. It just always kind of falls by the wayside. Yourself?
Well, part of why we chose this topic is because I recently set foot in an LA institution, being the Pantages Theater.
That's right. Your first time.
My first time in the Pantages Theater. Hey, nice place. Hey. Nice place you got here.
Pretty nice.
A
high ceilings, big chandelier.
A nice theater on one of the dirtiest streets in the city.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
It does. Every time I have to go into the Hollywood area, it is a stark reminder of why I don't like to be over there or why I wouldn't want to live there. But the theater was very nice. We saw Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Curse that child.
And saw it as a double date. So there were four of us, and I liked this play the least, but I still liked it. But everybody else, the other three, were like, "Was amazing." I was like, "Yeah, just pretty good." And I think that's kind of how. I mean, that's how a lot of my like enjoyment of things has been lately.
Might be a you problem.
It might be a me problem. Like, speaking of movies, like everybody is like, oh my God, Sinners is the best movie I've seen in years.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Like, it's Thunderbolts. Oh, Marvel's so back. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right. So this may be a me issue, but I think that sometimes
I kind of don't think it is though.
Yeah, it may be. You're right. It's everyone else who's the problem.
Else. It's always the problem.
A couple years ago, my mom and my wife and I went to a different LA theater, the Amundsen, and saw Hadestown. And that was another.
Heard that's at the time was the show to see.
That was another one where I was like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And my wife and my mom were like, that was amazing. I was like, yeah, okay.
There is something to that with theater, because I often feel the same way, even when I've seen a play that I'm like, that was really good. Something, it just doesn't connect with me in the same way. that a movie or music does. So I don't know if I can think of some really fantastic plays I've seen that I was like, that was great,
Yeah.
but it didn't change my worldview or anything.
Sure.
I don't know. It didn't blow my mind. I don't know.
I mean, there were a lot of effects in this Harry Potter play where I was like, I have no idea how they did that. That's really impressive. That's really cool.
Love that.
For me, at least in that one, it was a little bit more of like the not even the story so much as the execution of the story. And then the other thing I think that keeps me from like fully connecting with live theater, although I have, like you said, seen things that are really great, seen performances that are really great, but I think that sometimes the theater kid stereotype or cliche, you can see some of them in the cast, and they are often distracting to me.
I get that.
The kind of hammy, over the top performance, or like in this Harry Potter one, some of the performers were doing really well. They were, immersed in the character.
Yeah.
But then they've got a joke coming, so they've got to get really big for it. It's like, no, I don't. That doesn't work for me. That's a no for me, dog. A little pitchy.
Not my tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's, because when I think about great, when I've been in a movie theater and I've seen a great movie, or when I've been at a concert, even if I'm in the nosebleeds at a concert, that's just like, I will get so into it that I'm just like, I'm zeroed in on it. I'm focused.
Yeah.
And I'm not even thinking about the fact that I'm in a theater. I'm on stage with them, even though they're a mile away from me. In a movie theater, if it's amazing and the crowd's not being a bunch of assholes, I can zero in on this. And I feel like even when theater is amazing or whatever, I'm never zeroed in on it like that. I'm always kind of picking it apart from and in positive ways, just going like, wow, yeah, the set design's really cool. Oh, that's a good actor. But I never feel locked in that same way.
That's a good way to describe
is a me problem. But
that's how I feel also, I think, where like during the show, some of those magic tricks that the characters are doing. I guess that in the Harry Potter universe, they're not tricks. I guess they're spells, but
there should be a version of Harry Potter, but it's just like a magic school.
It's just like magicians instead of wizards. Yeah.
This is good. A little late.
But a little late. But, somebody's got to take over the wizarding world from that notorious turf, J.K. Rowling. But as they were doing some of those spells and things, I was like, wow, that's really cool. There was some really cool set design, some different cool effects. But the other way that I sometimes, and I'll do this with movies too, but it's sometimes a little harder for me to do with movies, because movies can have a different pace, cutting, from scene to scene, instead of having stagehands kind of rush across and change things. But the thing that I'll sometimes catch myself doing is like, from a creative standpoint, being like, oh, this is how I would execute this scene. Oh, I think this character should be a little funnier, or this, change, like that was a big
play should be a little better.
Yeah. And it's not even that it should be better. It's that it should cater more to my sensibilities.
Yeah,
And there's a
come
big,
on.
I don't think that I know that I'm doing it and I know that I'm in the wrong. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, the whole letterboxed culture is like, no, it should cater to what I can not like this movie because I wanted it to be a different story. It's like, no,
Yeah.
you gotta look at what has been presented and then decide. But, um,
Snow White wasn't Saving Private Ryan, and I'm mad.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. So I think that I sometimes get caught up in the like, it got my
Craft.
creative juices flowing,
I
but
kind of get that too.
it's not an appropriate time for I gotta temper these juices.
I wrote down a note that all it says is I could have done that syndrome, which is probably
Yeah,
a little bit of narcissism.
sure.
And I can zoom out and go like, Evan, no, you couldn't. The fuck are you talking about? But I'm like, there's always going to be a part of me that's just, and maybe it's because I never like fully did go after any of these things that I don't have the experience to say like, no, you wouldn't be a good dancer, or no, you couldn't sing on stage, or no, you couldn't direct a play or write a play or whatever. That I just like, I don't know. I come at it from a weird ego point of same like, that's not how I would have done it. Or,
Yeah,
oh, if I would have read that line like this.
yeah,
It's like I it's one thing if this was everyone's experience, not the egotistical side of it, but just the kind of detached, like I'm watching a performance going like, oh, they're really good. Let me pull out the playbill and look up their name, and I'll read about them for like I'm for whatever reason I'm not in there.
yeah,
And it's like I hear people who love the theater and go all the fucking time. I work with a lot of people in New York, and they're like, Broadway, they're going to plays all the time. And the way they talk about it is the way that I'll talk about going to a concert or seeing a great movie. And I'm just like, I don't think I've ever had that full on immersive experience.
yeah,
So I think it can be got. I ain't got it. It ain't the medium for me, but I
yeah,
enjoy it.
yeah. I enjoy it. I have been on the other side, acting. I wrote a one act play and directed it,
Ooh,
so I have a little bit
did not know this.
um of that side of it as well. But yeah, I think I agree with you that like I also don't get fully immersed in it, even though I do enjoy it. I've thought about like, oh shit, there are so many theaters here. Obviously it's not to the extent that Broadway is, but there
Mm-hmm.
are theaters here in the LA area. Like, should I get
Yeah,
season pass or whatever to go to
I
a
think
bunch
that
of
would be
shows?
fun. That'd be
Yeah.
very fun.
Yeah. Um but it also I think feels like, well, I don't know if I could commit to doing that, or I don't know if all the shows are going to be good this season, like, even though I don't know that I've ever seen like a bad show, at least on like at the professional level,
Yeah,
like this would be at these theaters.
I
um
have, and it sucks.
um but yeah, I don't know. I think that I don't know if you want to talk about talk about that, but the stuff that I want to discuss is,
Yeah.
do you, and I know the answer to this because we discussed before I went to the Pantages,
Yes.
trying to figure out what to wear to
Yes.
the theater.
Yeah. We had a big back and forth about it because I think it was after we were recording. It was like the previous week. You
Yeah.
were like, "We're going tonight." I'm like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't want to get in your head." But the last time, and maybe it's just like I'd been to plays when you're younger. When you're younger, I had been to plays.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
Probably. That's probably true. And I'm a teenage boy or in my early 20s. I'm like, I'm not thinking about what I look like. I was and am a minor slob. No, I'm just not hyper focused on my outfits. But as an adult, the past few times I've been to the theater, the last two being Rent and Moulin Rouge, I got very like in my head, like, do people dress up to go to the theater? And I feel like the answer is half and half. It's some do. And so I felt like a need to find that middle road, which I think ended up being nice shoes, regular-ish pants, dress shirt.
Uh-huh.
And just
Did you go tucked in or untucked?
I went tucked in.
Okay.
I tucked that shit in. Wore a belt. I felt more dressed than a lot of people there. Probably more dressed than the majority of people there.
Okay.
But I guess I'm respecting the craft. I feel like I should dress up. What did you do? How did it go?
The theater is strange because it does feel like it's a thing you're supposed to dress up for. And I feel like, so the last few times I've been, obviously the Pantages, and then in December when we were in Phoenix, we saw the Nutcracker, and then Hades Town was before that. So those are the last couple times, and I think that for the Nutcracker and for Hades Town, I probably wore like a nice sweater and nice jeans or something. Like wasn't too dressed up. And then this time we went with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, and my sister-in-law was like, we should all dress up. We should all dress fancy. But I think that that's always been a difficult thing for me, because I feel like when women are like, we should dress fancy, they get to wear, some nice dress that they want. And for us, it's like, you can wear a dress shirt and maybe you can wear a jacket, but I don't ever know like how fancy to go.
Yeah.
I dialed it back though, because I was like, we were going to get food and drinks at like a bar beforehand. I was like, I don't want to be dressed like particularly fancy in this
I've had to
bar,
do this before. So, it feels weird as fuck.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it was at the Pantages, so we might have gone to the same bar. It's like, it's Hollywood Boulevard. There are some they're not fancy.
No, this was
establishments.
A not fancy at all bar. It was a dive sports bar, basically, and
I think this has to have been the same place. Dressed to the nines.
They were broadcasting a basketball game between, I think, the Knicks and the Celtics.
That sounds right.
Two teams with the loudest fans you've ever encountered. And they were all packed into that bar screaming their little heads off anytime anything happened. But
playoffs, baby.
So I did not want to be particularly fancy in that environment. I wore a dress shirt. I knew that I didn't know what my brother-in-law was going to be wearing. I had a general idea and was right. But I knew that my sister-in-law was going to be wearing a green dress, and my wife was coming straight from work to the theater. And my sister-in-law was like, oh, I'll bring another like Slytherin green outfit for you if you want. And look, normally Slytherin is my Hogwarts house, but I didn't want to over-represent, so I went with
Yeah.
my second school. So I had a blue dress shirt on for Ravenclaw. But I had it untucked, and then I had some like khaki chinos on, and then I have
Yeah.
some like casual blue shoes that I wore. So I was like, I wasn't I was a nice I was between fancy and casual, I guess. And that's
That's
more or
where
less
I
what my
am.
brother-in-law wore as well, although he had his red for Gryffindor tucked in dress shirt. Um and that was what I went with. And I felt like I was appropriately dressed. I think that as far as the men go, I was about right where we needed to be.
I love it. A men go.
Yeah,
It had to be said.
I love the men go.
That sounds like exactly where I was aiming for. But then there's also, I mean, I guess that kind of falls in like a Harry Potter thing. It's like, okay, there's going to be
Sure.
some theming here. We're picking colors, but we're not. I mean, there probably were some people wearing like Gryffindor scarves or whatever.
Yeah, I believe some
Um,
people had full on Hogwarts robes.
There you go. But like one confusing one for me some years ago, Book of Mormon. Back when I lived in Seattle,
Sure.
some years ago, so probably like 15 years ago.
You were
Book
going
of
to wear
Mormon.
a white dress shirt and a black tie?
Yeah, I mean, hey, that would have been fucking great. A little name tag. But you're like, I'm going to the theater. This is the
Yeah.
same place I went and saw Chicago. The play, not the band. You can also see concerts there. I know this is a like Tony sweeping musical, but it is made by the guys who do South Park. I know it's a raunchy, ribald comedy. How do you dress for that?
Yeah.
You know, I overthought it, but I think I don't even remember. I don't remember how I dressed.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of those things where it feels like it takes a lot of thought. Like, I barely remember what I wore to this Harry Potter thing, and it was like 2 weeks ago. But
Yeah.
it felt like it was a major concern before I left of like, what am I going to wear to this thing?
And maybe a little part of this has to do with us not getting fully immersed in the theater. Is I find myself sitting there with, again, the ego driven thought that, like, everybody's fucking looking at me. Everyone's gonna be looking at me. I know there's a like stellar acting and set design and shit going on over here, but like everyone's looking, going like, he's a little overdressed. I don't know. That did. I have a very specific memory at the Paramount Theater when I saw Book of Mormon. So I guess I can't place this in time, which I think was 2013. Now I'm doubting myself, but it was the same year that the Seahawks won their first ever Super Bowl. Spoiler alert! If you're going through the
Man,
Seahawks, Seahawks season,
I'm only on Super Bowl 7.
We weren't a team at Super Bowl 7. Nice try. But so that day, it was one of those things, you buy tickets. It's hard to get tickets to Book of Mormon at the time. Got tickets, happened to be a big day. It was like, I want to say it was the game that if they won, they were going to the Super Bowl. And so everyone at the theater, we all live in Seattle. And it was like right before the play started. someone had checked their phone and saw that the game ended and the Seahawks won, and they're like, the Seahawks won, and the whole crowd's just going like, yeah. So it's in a theater, but it's like we all turned into sports fans because the Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl, and it was amazing. And then the Seahawks won that year. The very following year, in that same building, I went to see Bill Burr. And that was the year the Seahawks went back to the Super Bowl and lost in miserable fashion in the last milliseconds of the game against the New England Patriots. Bill Burr being a Bostonian. And he, like, ended his show to boos by just fucking laying into how shitty and dumb Seahawks fans are and how terrible that game was and how he thought it was funny. And I loved it. But it was funny to have that. Those were my back-to-back Paramount experiences those years. It was fun.
The other thing that, like, I guess we didn't have a ton of control, obviously, day of, but where to sit in the theater? Where are the good seats?
Yeah. And maybe this is a part of the immersive thing, is maybe I'm not close enough. Maybe I'm always to the side. I don't know.
We were like 5 rows from the front in like close to the center of the row. So I've been close. And those seats were pretty good. So, I mean, I still wasn't fully immersed, but it was like, those are pretty good seats. But I find myself always wondering, you know, looking up to the side, looking for Statler and Waldorf. Like, would those private boxes along the side, would those be good? Because it feels like your view is
worse.
Is not very good, but
yeah,
you are like, you have space, I guess, but like, do you need a lot of space? I don't know what to make of those seats.
About that, because those always seem like the seats you would pay more for to have this private box. But I don't know. It seems like that view would not be good,
right?
I mean, I guess with theater, they're not really. I don't know, like, you are playing to the room, and it's not like there's a focus point in the audience, like a stand-up comedian is looking at the audience. It's just kind of happening there. So maybe it would be fine. I don't know. I don't have enough money to find out.
Yeah.
I may never know.
Another thing I want to ask about in regards to overthinking, because this happened at the Pantages. This also happened a couple of days ago when I went to a Dodger game.
Yeah.
When you are in your seat
mm-hmm.
and somebody has to cross your aisle to get to their seat, or, you know, put yourself in their shoes, they're in their seat and you've got to get over.
Yeah.
Do you, as the person sitting, are you, and this is assuming the show is not currently going on, this is, you know, before the show starts or during intermission or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you stand up so that and then the seat, you know, folds in or whatever, and then they can go by? Or do you kind of scrunch over, turn to the side, maybe a little bit, angle your legs a little bit to the side so that they can get past? Which do you do, Evan?
It depends on the day. On a good day, I'm standing up. I think it also depends on the chairs and how much room there is, because some of these theaters are fucking cramped.
Yes.
And scrunching to the side's just not going to be enough. I try to put the extra effort in and stand. It's one of those things that I hate. I hate when it happens, but I know that I've had to do it too. Like, it just comes up. Yeah. And if you're in the middle of the aisle and you got to cross, I would like to one day get a seat on the end. So I'm like right next to the aisle, but then cross everybody to go up. Like, no, I need to go up that aisle.
Sorry, excuse me.
Where did he just come from? It'd be annoying, but I live to be annoying, I guess.
I also try to stand, but I'm always like, as the person crossing, I'm like, come on, you can't stand up.
Oh yeah, 100%. Can't put a little effort into this.
You can't do a little bit. Like some people will not move their legs at all, but they'll just lean their torso back. It's like
It's like
that's
not the
not
part
where
that's
I'm
in the way.
crossing. That's if you're trying to get me to straddle you, like you got to tell me. Don't expect me to read your body language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't expect me to be able to fly.
Yeah.
Float my little ass over you.
Yeah. We all float down here. No, I have to walk still.
I gotta walk. What am I? It?
Yeah.
It
What
the
am
clown?
I? It the clown.
You mentioned the Nutcracker a while back.
I did.
And I will say ballet, dance, etc. I also have a lot of respect for and can enjoy, but similarly don't get immersed in. And sorry, because my mom and my sister are big dance heads. But I went to see the Nutcracker forever ago back in Seattle.
The sequel?
Well, I saw it as a kid. What's that?
The sequel? The Nutcracker forever
the Nutcracker
ago?
2. Get cracking. Get cracked.
How about this? Okay, and I'm gonna let you tell your story in a second, but this is an interesting.
He's gonna let me finish.
This is an interesting play for us to write and direct and produce.
Okay.
The Nutcracken.
The Nutcracken.
It's the same story as the Nutcracker, but with the Kraken. Yeah. Or with the hockey team.
Or with the hockey team. Or both.
Or both.
Be pretty good. Here's all I'm here to say. Ballet. Sometimes theater. Intermission is a nice thing. I like that it exists. It's nice to go to the bathroom and get a little water or something. And different theaters have different ways of calling you back into the show. I do appreciate they're all very like calming alerts. At least everyone that I've run into. I'm very rarely seeing a play or dance recital. I don't know, ballet thing. A play or the Nutcracker is what I should say. But and it's like someone coming over the speaker just being like, time to get back to your seats, children. It's always like at the Paramount, they do a light dimming thing.
Yeah.
So the lights dim 2 or 3 times. I'm like, oh, that's nice. But this place where I saw the Nutcracker, this is so old fashioned that I'm like, I love this so much. It's the best thing I saw at the theater that day. An old man with a tiny little thing, glockenspiels, handheld thing. Just ding, ding, ding. He just like walked into the room and just played like 3 notes to let everyone know. And that's it. He didn't say anything. It's just like bong, bong, bong. The NBC.
The NBC. Yeah.
Yeah. It ruled. And I think there should be one of those on staff at every theater.
I think so too. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look up NBC's slogan because, like, if you're gonna, you know, everybody knows the little theme, but
Bong, bong, bong.
the Pantages also had the light dimming thing, but yeah, the little glockenspiel thing would be fun. I am not going to be able to find a current NBC slogan. There are many, many, many slogans that they have used, but
NBC and you there.
There you go.
Or NBC you there.
I
Peacock.
Want to discuss someone at this Pantages who, like, people are getting in and out of their seats as we're trying to walk down to the front where our seats are. And they're getting in and out and they're blocking the aisle. But it's very apparent that like this person's coming out so that this person can come in, and it'll all be resolved in like 2 seconds. This guy behind us shoving his way past us to be like, I don't know why people fucking stop in the middle of the aisles. It's ridiculous. Bro. The show has not started. And this is a Harry Potter play.
You've come to see a Harry Potter play,
What are you doing?
What the fuck?
Yeah. Ridiculous.
That's amazing.
I said that was going to be the only thing I had to say, but there is another thing I want to talk about.
Hit it.
And it's shows that have been around for a long time, sure, I think are more likely to do this. I don't think that I saw it in Harry Potter or Hades Town, but I did see it in the Nutcracker.
Mm-hmm.
And this is plays that want to add a little topical or modern flair.
Yeah, sure.
And whether that's like a little joke to nod to whatever's going on in the world, or in the case of the Nutcracker, I want to say, I don't remember.
Someone did the Gangnam Style dance across.
No, somebody either flossed or dabbed, and I can't remember which one it was now, but I do remember there being that like, well, no, hey, we're all modern. I know that this is the Nutcracker is from, hundreds of years ago. I don't know how long ago it is, but certainly decades.
I'm gonna say 100 years.
All right, now I'm gonna have to look it up, but and hopefully it'll be in our quizzle and we can both get it right. But that little nod of like, hey, we're still in the 2020s with you, but so here's a little reminder. Like, we're not really these
which
characters.
Doesn't help with the immersive thing. I find.
I also find it just I don't like the pandering of it, I think.
Yeah.
Because then people clap and they're like, he flossed.
Yeah.
What are we, a bunch of dentists? Don't cheer for that.
A bunch of dentists.
I'm having a real difficult time typing today. Okay, you said 100 years ago.
I did.
Which would be 1925.
I think it's earlier than that.
Maybe it is.
I'm crazy.
1892 is the first performance of the Nutcracker.
Fascinating. Because I'm like, I know it was Tchaikovsky. That guy's old as hell.
You heard it here, Tchaikovsky. You're old as hell.
Super old. We love him though, don't we, folks?
Well, yeah, we love the
late, great
Tchaikovsky. Came up to me, big guy, strong guy, tears in his eyes.
Big guy, strong guy.
Sir,
shooting off those cannons.
Sir, I know people love the Nutcracker, but not as much as they love you. And I said, oh, that's nice.
What a nice guy.
What a nice guy.
Strong guy. Big hands.
Big hands. The little Rat Kings weren't so bad. You guys.
We love a Rat King.
Anyway.
We gotta take a quiz.
We gotta take a quiz. Look, at this point, you know where to find this podcast. You know what we want you to do once you've found this podcast.
Yeah.
You know that we're on social media at HowDoWeHuman, except for the platforms we don't like. You know that you can send us an email to howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
We dare you.
And you know it's time for us to take a 5-question quiz.
Yeah.
And you know that I desperately need to pass Evan, and it's almost certainly not going to happen today, since the score going into this is Evan with 73 points and myself with that nice 69.
Nice, nice.
Nice. And
Nice.
let's see how we do today, Evan. Question number
Let's
1. In the military, what term is used to describe a potentially hostile, unidentified aircraft? Ghost, phantom, bogey, or bandit? I hope I'm not overthinking this because I feel like I know it.
All of these sound valid. Potentially hostile, unidentified aircraft. God, I am second guessing this.
Yeah. It's hard not to because they all feel like they could be appropriate terms somewhere in military vocabulary. But
I'm saying phantom.
I'm saying bogey.
Okay.
And it was bogey.
Damn. Look at him go. What term was first used in This Side of Paradise by F. Scott Fitzgerald per the Oxford English Dictionary? Bandana, t-shirt, hoodie, hipster.
I have my answer, but I
have an answer too.
It feels like it is too easy for me to, like, for this to be the one that clearly jumps out at me in a thing I know nothing about, you know?
I've never read that. I've read a few F. Scotts. And I have a guess.
I'm picking hipster.
I'm picking hipster.
It was t-shirts.
Fucking t-shirts.
Question number 3. Kids are often taught how to make rudimentary kaleidoscopes by placing mirrors inside a what?
What the fuck kind of question is this?
Fish bowl, cookie jar, Pringles can, or shoebox?
Oh no, I did it to myself. I was like, this answer is so obvious, and then had a flash of a memory as a kid, and I'm like, wait.
I know. I have the same problem.
Fuck.
Because it feels like one...
There's an obvious answer.
...is obviously correct. But I feel also, and I'm assuming this is the case for you as well.
Yeah.
It feels like we, in fact, maybe did make rudimentary kaleidoscopes using a different one of these objects. But in theory,
have to
feels incorrect.
That makes me think this is a trick. I am going to say shoebox.
I am also going to say shoebox. But Pringles can feels like the proper kaleidoscope. But I feel like...
kaleidoscope.
I feel like...
I remember doing it in a shoebox.
Yes, me too. We got Mandela affected on that one. That's all right. That's bizarre.
Please reach out to us on social. Email us, HowDoWeHumanPod@gmail.com. Does anyone else have this memory of making kaleidoscopes in shoeboxes? That was upsetting. I didn't like that one bit.
I did not either.
In 2012, which airline became the first to buy its own oil refinery to cut out the middleman? Delta, United, JetBlue, or Southwest? 2012. I mean,
I really...
frank, I don't have a fucking clue.
And I don't either. And I know that it may seem like there's some reason that I should know this, but I don't. And there's going to be an answer in here that's going to really upset me if it's correct and I don't choose it.
I've landed on an answer.
I have two, but well, yeah, okay. I've landed on an answer, but I think it's wrong.
Listen, so far, I've gotten all of these wrong.
That's
So,
true.
I had a couple of real strong weeks there, and that's over.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I'm not doing much better than you this week. I'm still gonna choke, but
1-0's a pretty strong show. I'm gonna say United.
I'm gonna say Southwest.
United.
It was Delta,
you bastards.
Last question, Evan.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can tie it up 1-1. Because
this is something we can.
God knows I'm not about to get this. When the days of the week are listed alphabetically,
this sucks.
What comes fourth? Saturday.
It's just math.
Tuesday, Sunday, or Monday?
Ugh, I hate
Thrilled
this
that you said this is math when it is in fact not really math to alphabetize words.
This is math. When I say this is math, I mean this sucks.
Well, that we can agree on.
All right, let me think about this.
We're going to have to take a moment.
Well,
this might be cut out of the episode, but Evan and I are going to have to take a second.
All right. All right, I've got my answer.
I'll be thrilled if we chose different answers.
That would be so exciting. I don't feel confident in this at all. My brain got scrambled. I'm very tired. I landed on the Lord's Day, Sunday.
That is also the day that I have chosen.
Let's rock.
And it was correct.
I got one!
So, Evan not shut out this time.
I have never in my life had someone ask me to alphabetize the days of the week, and I found that real fucking difficult.
As I was counting, I forgot one of the days. I was like, why do I only have 6?
Well, I really left Friday for last as going through the week. You might. I was like, oh shit, that's right. Friday is like number 1.
Yeah. The day of the week I forgot was Thursday. So
hey, that's a good one.
Ultimately didn't matter as far as alphabetizing goes, but was a little concerning when I went through them and was like, why don't I only have 6?
Friday, Monday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Good job, Evan.
Whew. Lordy.
This does bring the score. Evan now has 74 and Chris has 71. So Claude a little bit closer, but
yeah,
I can only creep. I can't seem to make a big rush. Make a big time rush. You know, like that band from years ago that I don't think I've heard a single song from.
Yeah. Like, I'm a fan of Rush, but then Big Time Rush came out.
Yeah.
So, like, wow,
they're bigger.
So
I gotta go with them. I gotta go where the heat is.
We do gotta go where the heat is, and that's elsewhere. So we gotta go.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.